What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's review I'm going to be taking a look at the newly released Marvel Legends Avengers Gamerverse Outback Hulk, or as the packaging refers to him as, just Hulk. You can see here for the packaging that we have a really large box, a lot larger than some of our traditional Marvel Legend figures with the Gamerverse logo at the top. On the side of the packaging we've got a really cool piece of artwork of some of the other Avengers that we will see in the new Avengers game, and on the back of the packaging we've got an image of Outback Hulk with a brief bio about the Hulk. So getting into the figure, you can see that here he is, and yes, I have got the Power Gauntlet installed on him. I know that that isn't the accessory that this figure comes with, but it's just a very quick accessory that I wanted to show off, as I never actually completed the endgame Hulk builder figure, which this essentially is, just with a brand new paint deco and some new additional components. But you can see that the Nano Gauntlet can definitely be installed onto this figure if this is the look that you're after. And then here we have the Outback Hulk out of packaging, and I've got to say that it actually is a really awesome figure. Now, as I stated in the beginning of the review, this is just basically an Avengers Endgame builder figure Hulk, just with a brand new head sculpt. I believe some alternate hands. I'm not sure if the Avengers builder figure Endgame Hulk came with alternate hands, but this does come with a pair of alternate hands, and he also has these arm wraps that he would probably use in combat or something of that nature. You can see here that the design they've gone with is actually a major departure from your traditional rendition of Hulk, and I've got to say that I'm actually really liking this new look. You can see some of this tribal tattoo detailing on the front of him. Unfortunately, it doesn't carry on to the back, which would have been a great space to have actually put some tattoos on, but unfortunately they decided to leave that blank. Whether or not that is game accurate, I don't believe that this is the Hulk that we will actually see mandatory in the game. I do imagine that this will probably be an alternate skin, but a really nice alternate skin, I must add. And here I've got the angry face on, and you can see that the detailing on that is awesome. Him grinning with some very impressive sculpting there for the teeth. I love the way that the beard looks, a very ragged look for Hulk, and the eyes and the eyebrows have been painted really nicely, and the detailing of the tattoos on the face is also really cool as well. And I think that the hair sculpt is amazing, really nice sculpting and detailing on this figure. If you take a look at the body, we've got all of the muscular detailing, the arms are super ripped, and we've got some nice tattoo detailing there as well. And the arm wraps too have also been done in a really nice pliable plastic, and I think that the detailing on them, the moulded in detailing, is really nice. Here we've got one of the fisted hands, and here are one of the more open palmed hands. I will show you how you can swap those out in just a bit, but you can see that the torso with the six-pack, and I really do like the sculpted in detailing there for the trousers or the pants. They look super cool, and you've got all of the rips towards the bottom of them as well. And then finally you have got the Hulk toes. Definitely a really awesome looking figure in terms of its sculpt. For articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so it can look left to right as well as up and down. It can also tilt side to side. We get a full 360-degree rotation there for the arm, and the arm can hinge out that far. Full 360 rotation there for the bicep, as well as a double jointed elbow joint, allowing for a great degree of motion there, so that's super cool. Full 360 rotation there at the wrists, and the wrists do also have the hinge joint, so they can hinge forwards and backwards. For the ab rotation, we do get a crunch forwards and a crunch backwards, as well as a rotation side to side, and you can also actually tilt side to side. A full 360 rotation there for the actual waist joint. The legs can kick forwards that far as well as back to about that far before it is obstructed by the sculpt. They can hinge out to the sides. Full 360 rotation there for the thigh, as well as a double joint at the knee, which doesn't get the great degree of motion, but definitely enough for you to pose this figure around in some really dynamic poses. The foot can pivot forwards and backwards, as well as rock side to side. So overall for articulation, I think that it's great, especially the articulation there for the torso. Now, in order to swap out some of the additional components, you simply just want to pop off the Hulk's head, and we can bring in the more neutral looking Hulk head, and you can see here that it is actually once again a really nice sculpt, some super nice detailing, and I think that the paintwork on the face where the detailing of the tattoos are is just done so nicely. It definitely does look very pasty. It does appear as if though he does have a monobrow. I'm not entirely sure whether that is a paint discrepancy, but that is something to be cautious of, is the paint on the face. But overall I think the detail is so nicely done, as well as the texture on the beard. Just overall a magnificent looking sculpt. In terms of swapping out the hands, if you wish to have a pair of fisted hands, they do come off really easily, and you can also take off the wraps if you don't like that look for Hulk either, and then just bringing in the other fisted hand and putting that on. There you can have your Outback Hulk, really aggressive with both of his fists. So I imagine that this head sculpt would probably be more fitting for this look for Hulk. but definitely a really nice figure, and I'm so glad that I did pick this one up. And then of course he does come with a pair of open palmed hands, and you can see the detailing on these is really nice as well, especially the detailing of the actual fingertips as well. All super nice. Really great attention to detail on this figure. For your Marvel Legends size comparison, unfortunately I don't really have that many Gamerverse figures. However, what I do have is the Endgame Build-A-Figure Thanos, and as this is the Endgame Build-A-Figure Hulk body, I thought that it would be quite nice to compare these two. You can see that this is a really big figure, especially for a Build-A-Figure. It is actually a lot bigger than Thanos, which was something I didn't know upon seeing images of this figure online. It's bigger in terms of its width as well. Thanos does look rather slender in comparison, but definitely a really great figure here with the Outback Hulk. So there was my rather quick review on the newly released Marvel Legends Avengers Gamerverse Outback Hulk figure. Personally, I really do like this figure. I always thought that the Endgame Build-A-Figure Hulk was a great sculpt. The only reason why I never got around to actually collecting it is because you had to collect a slew of comic book figures, which I just had no clue as to who they were. So to actually get this Outback Hulk in a pretty decent colour scheme, may I add, I really am a big fan of the grey Hulk look with the tribal tattooing, and the head sculpt is fantastic. Both of the head sculpts on this figure are really nicely done. I think the sculpt work on the heads is definitely where these Marvel Legend figures excel, and I do like some of the additional features such as the wraps around the arms. It just creates for a very different, diverse look for Hulk, and is something that we're not necessarily so familiar to. I am quite surprised that Hasbro did decide to do this version of Hulk before the traditional green version, as the green version appears to be the version that we will see for the majority out of the game, and will probably be the mandatory skin design for that character. But nevertheless, it's great that we are getting a variation of Hulk so earlier on in the Gamerverse line, and I'm sure that we will see the more traditional green version of Hulk later on down when the game actually releases. So a really nice figure. I definitely recommend it, especially if you are a Marvel Legends fan. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below whether or not you enjoyed my rather quick review of this Marvel Legends figure, and whether or not you would like to see me take a look at some of these figures in the future. I really hope you enjoyed my video, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.